Hi, this is Coach David Halal. Today we're gonna talk about how ridiculous life is. You know, being as you get older, you realize that a lot of times people will use the word ridiculous. For example, there's this one guy that lives in my complex that owns 3 Ferraris, 2 red ones right there, 1 black one. Right behind me there, you will see the 3 Ferraris. Totally ridiculous, right? Nice cars, fast cars, you know, expensive cars. Totally ridiculous. Why would you need 3, right? That's what a lot of people would ask themselves. Why do you need 3 Ferraris? And then you will be driving in the street, you will see somebody who's homeless. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. Why is he homeless? Well, this one is hooked on drugs. Oh my God, why is he on drugs? This is ridiculous. Donald Trump became president. First time ever he's gonna hold an office, or he's holding on, he's in an office, you know, government, and he's gonna be president. He's the president of the United States. Totally ridiculous. Hillary Clinton, a lawyer, lost, who's been the president's wife, Secretary of State. She's been working with the government for over 30 years. But then she lost against a guy who's never, held a government office. Totally ridiculous. You see? So what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, the word ridiculous, or how people use certain words, really it's up to you to realize or to understand, you know, or to realize how and when and where you are going to be in this end of which end of the ridiculousness you're gonna be in, you know. Nice car, you know, nice house, or being poor, or being what a lot of people, you know, let the government call them, you know, middle class. Really, the middle class is disappearing because a lot of people are becoming extremely poor, and a lot of people are becoming millionaires. So middle class is really disappearing. They said, you know, about 100 years ago, America had about 20 to 30,000 millionaires about 100 years ago. And then 50 years later, they checked. America had over 200 million millionaires. Now these days, we have here in America, you know, over a million millionaires. You see, so the middle class is disappearing. Soon, if you're making $75,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, or $150,000 to $150,000 a year, you cannot claim yourself to be middle class. You'll be poor. Why? Because people, things are changing, right? Totally ridiculous. I remember, you know, being in Times Square, you know, and the guy who was giving us the tour was telling us that one of these apartments or condos or units in these buildings, you know, I don't know if you ever see the movie, the TV show Power, you know, or, you know, a ghost and his wife and his children live in a house that's in a building. So it's like a house or like a townhouse. It has its own elevator that takes you straight in front of their house or in front of the door to enter their house, you know. So it's not like there's not even a door really, because once the elevator opens up, you're there, you at their house. So they basically have to let you in to come up to their house. you know. And these houses, when they were building this building, 2 years before the building even started building, people were putting down $2-3 million just to buy these apartments or these condos or this townhouse that has 2 levels. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You know, so you would say, well, this is ridiculous. No, it's not. You see, you get to choose which end of the ridiculousness you're gonna be in. Where you gonna be in this, you know, line of ridiculous, you know? Are you gonna be at the bottom, or are you gonna be at the top, or are you gonna be, you know, somewhere in between, you see? So it's up to you to understand that you have to do what it takes for you to become, you know, what you want to become. You have to do what it takes for you to accomplish what you have to accomplish. You know, a lot of people claim to say, well, you know, or they'll say, well, you know, it's my boss' fault. It's the government's fault. It's you know, the United States fault. They will say, well, this is you know, my parents' fault. This is my husband's fault. This is my wife's fault. I realized very early in my life that anytime somebody's doing something, or even if they're doing it for you out of goodwill, out of good, you know, their good heart, they're trying to help you out or please you, you might not like it. You might not enjoy it, right? So you have to learn how to do your own thing. I remember being very young, and one of my aunts, she cooked white rice, which I like. I like to eat white rice, you know. I still do, you know, until this day, you know. And she cooked it, and it was not the way I expected it to be. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn to cook my own white rice. So from then on, I was about 6 years old, 1981. I started cooking my own rice. And little by, of course, when I started, you know, I needed direction as a 6-year-old, you know, 7-year-old. I needed direction, and they teach me, they give me, you know, pointers and watch me cooking it. By the time I was 7, 8 years old, I was doing the best white rice that, you know, for myself, and other people started enjoying it. They were like, wow, this is really good. We really like it. 11 years old, I'm cooking not only white rice, then I started cooking better food, you know. I remember, you know, there was, you know, when people cook eggs, and, you know, they like to let the eggs sit. A lot of people, not everybody, but I've seen, you know, some of my family members, you know, they cook the egg and they let the egg sit, you know, once they put the egg in the pan, they let the egg sit there without stirring it, you know. And I don't like that. I like stirring it, and I don't like it to be too hard like bread. I like to, you know, while it's still very fluffy and very, you know, soft and a little bit, you know, on the, you know, watery side, a little bit, very little, you know. So I learned quickly, you have to, you know, learn how to do your own thing. If you don't like the way, you know, the egg is, right, you need to learn how to cook it. If you don't like the way, you know, somebody's doing something for you, whether it's food, whether it's your job, you've got to change it. You've got to change it, you know. So I realized that really early, and yes, sometimes I need to be reminded, you know, that I need somebody to remind me that. But you know, but right now, as I'm thinking about it, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, we need to change, and we're waiting for other people to change. If you wait for other people to change for you to be happy, you will never be happy. You see, because the universe will keep giving back to you, you know, what you're saying, how you're feeling. You understand what I'm saying? The more you feel bad, the worse things will happen to you. So it's not really, not only, it can be a good thing, because in a way you have control, because if you know, increase your good feelings, you see. But so I don't lose what I'm saying, don't get me wrong, you must, you know, not only choose, but you must be very, very tough sometimes on yourself. You have to have good ethics. Good ethics does not mean only be, it doesn't only mean to be honest with other people, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to have this, you know it's tough. The toughest thing for us to do is to stop bullshitting ourselves. It's to be honest with ourselves, to say, what, this shit isn't working out, or this food is not good, or this is how I do it every day and I know it's not good. You don't become successful by being, compliant in a way where people get to choose for you. You understand? So, like I was saying, that building, this guy, was saying that, and I'm like, man, you're gonna give $3-4 million before the building even start, before the construction start, He says, yeah, that's what they did, because otherwise you wouldn't get a chance to be in that building. And it's not only in New York. I've seen that in Florida, in South Florida, and here in Atlanta. A lot of people, a lot of places you got to give money before they start, especially those places that are in Midtown. You understand? So you gotta be able to be tough. You must understand. You must realize you get to choose. And stop protesting. A lot of people are protesters. They're always protesting. And we all protest. The protesting does not mean when you stand in front of a government place or in front of a job with a tablet or a piece of plywood or a piece of cotton that has something written in it. No. Or you're yelling, you're saying, this and that. No. We protest all the time, and because of that, we cannot become what we're supposed to become. Do you know that one thing that all poor people has in common is blame? They blame everybody. We blame everybody, and that's why we cannot become, rich and wealthy. And we because by blaming other people, you basically take yourself out of the equation, and you also increase the bad vibration. And so you attract all the bad things. We need to stop blaming. We need to stop protesting, and we need to start taking action. And bring ourselves to feeling good, to seeing the good, and doing the good, that we know that we can do and that we can accomplish, and become, happier, and become the greatest version of ourselves, because we have greatness inside of us. So anyway, this is Coach David Halal. Don't look at everything and say, well, this person here has this and I don't have it. No. You can have it too. It's up to you to have it. It's up to you to go ahead and accomplish it. So don't let yourself become, or don't let yourself be on the wrong end of ridiculousness. So become successful, become powerful, become a hard worker, become a visionary, a smart worker, become who you want to become, right? And stop blaming other people, and stop being on the wrong end of ridiculous. This is Coach David Halal, fearlessly and passionately pursuing his call and his destiny. Don't forget to subscribe, like my videos. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.